And going back to the top story we are tracking here on DD India News Hour, a much anticipated free trade pact between India and the four-nation European bloc comprising Norway, Switzerland, Iceland and Liechtenstein comes into force. And joining us is Dr. Pralok Gupta, an associate professor at the Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, a public business school established in 1963 under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. Dr. Gupta, welcome to DD India News Hour. For the benefit of viewers joining us from around the world, could you unpack the salient features of the India-EFTA Pact?
Okay. Thank you. This agreement was very long negotiated between India and EFTA countries, more than 10 years, and there were periods when there was stumbling blocks and it could not be signed. But last year in March it got signed, and now it got ratified by EFTA countries as well as by India, so it is coming into effect. In terms of its very salient features, one very important aspect of this agreement, and which is also a unique in terms of free trade agreements, is the investment deal in this agreement. So there is a provision that within 15-year period, EFTA countries will make $100 billion of investment. India has opened up its market to Swiss companies. Around 80 to 85% of tariff lines we have opened up for Swiss companies, and in lieu of that, they will make $100 billion investment in the next 50 years. Now, this is a win-win situation for India as well as EFTA countries, considering that they are capitalist countries, they have capital. On the other hand, we require investment. We have a lot of promotion for foreign direct investment. And if this investment comes to India, it will create employment opportunities, it will create more income to India. So it's a win-win situation for both the countries. And apart from that, there are facilities and concessions given from Indian side on chocolates and wines, so they will become cheaper in India. There are also provisions with respect to services trade. So both countries, both EFTA countries and India, they have liberalization for services market. And one country in EFTA bloc, they have also made commitments for our yoga services. Now, since yoga is now it is becoming popular in foreign countries, including EFTA countries, and India is a leader in providing yoga services. It emanated in India. So having a liberalization commitment for yoga services, that signifies a lot of value and the type of commitments in these new services that are being offered by EFTA countries.
Right. Dr. Gupta, before we delve into the specifics of this pact, again for the benefit of viewers, what can you tell us about the trade that exists between India and these four economic bloc countries as of today?
So as of today, the EFTA countries have around 30 billion of exports to India. As compared to that, India's exports to these countries is not much. It is in the tune of 2-3 billion. So there is a deficit between India and EFTA countries.
Okay.
But with the provision now that we are having in this FTA, it is expected that our trade will increase to these countries.
Now, talking about India, Dr. Gupta, what's in it for India? I mean, which industry sectors or segments stand to gain most from this pact? I mean, what about sectors such as machinery, organic chemicals, textiles, leather, gems and jewelry and processed foods? Would they stand to benefit?
Yes, these textiles, gems and jewelries, handicrafts, these will definitely benefit from this pact. Though on many of these products, there were already zero duty or close to zero duty in many of these countries. But the kind of SPS, TBT provisions that are being there, or rules of origin provisions, trade facilitation provisions, that will help in our exports to these countries.
So again, talking about the exports, I mean, how will this pact favor Indian exporters? I mean, are there any incentives or concessions that they can benefit from?
In terms of concession, because typically the trade agreements have provisions on the tariff barriers, so reduction in the tariff barriers, and as well as how to deal with the non-tariff barriers in terms of like your standards or compliance with norms. So these agreements, as I said, that there is a provision that there are reductions in tariff on many items, but many of these products, they are already on zero or close to zero duty in in these countries. So as far as tariff concessions are concerned, I would say that since already they were all zero duty, so not much concessions there. But in terms of other non-tariff barriers and those products which are still closed, there is concessions provided in this agreement.
Fair enough. Dr. Gupta, the EFTA has promised to invest up to $100 billion in India over the next 15 years. Now, the question everybody seems to ask tonight as we speak is how and where will this money be invested?
Okay. So as far as the specific sector or specific companies, the agreement does not provide for those details.
Okay.
The only thing that it talks about that in the next 15 years, there would be 100 billion investment by Swiss companies. And in case this investment does not come through, then India may withdraw the commitment that it has offered to EFTA countries. So it's a kind of like carrot and stick approach that we have opened up our market to Swiss companies. But at the same time, we have said that, okay, you come and invest in India. Now, as I said earlier, that this is a win-win situation for both the countries. Swiss companies or many EFTA countries, they are very much interested in investing in India. So there is a lot of appetite. So, the Swiss government, they are very much hopeful that within next 15 years, they would be able to make this much investment. So it's like they can capture the market here, they can provide their products while having investment here, but in India, there will be a lot of employment, income generation, and other things.
And finally, Dr. Gupta, before we let you go, will this, I mean, India is negotiating a number of similar deals with other countries. Now, how will this deal have a salutary effect on India's negotiations with the EU, for instance? Dr. Gupta, can you hear me?
Yes. Please, I could not get your question. I think there was some.
I'll rephrase my question, Dr. Gupta. I mean, will this have a salutary effect on India's negotiations, similar deals with the EU, for instance?
Yes, this definitely gives positive signals to the FTAs that are currently being negotiated. First, because this is an agreement with the European countries, it signals that we are ready to liberalize our market. We are ready to liberalize our tariff rates. And in this turbulent time when there is a lot of instability is there with respect to when US is imposing reciprocal tariff, this definitely creates a positive environment for the free trade agreements and the binding commitments. So this will definitely go a long way in terms of promoting that other free trade agreements, or rather I would say that facilitating or going forward in those agreements that were negotiated, particularly is the European Union. Because European Union is closely like EFTA is part of Europe, not European Union.
True.
But since now we have signed with EFTA, so it will incentivize, it will motivate EU also to fast track the negotiations and agree to some of our demands and conclude the negotiations.
All right, on that rather optimistic note, Dr. Pralok Gupta, may I thank you for joining us and sharing your perspectives with our viewers at home and abroad. Thank you for your time. Much appreciated.